Thank you for joining Cinema Femme for the live Q&A for One Woman Hamlet, starring and created by Kate Marie Smith, co-directed by Kseni Avonavi, Ayesha Abouelazm, and edited DP, VFX, and sound designed by Brian Naughton. And my name is Rebecca Martin. I am the founder of Cinema Femme, editor-in-chief of the online magazine, and the festival director of our showcase, our festival showcase. So I'm very excited to bring on the team behind this film, One Woman Hamlet. It's such an original, and you just watched it, so you know, and it's so moving and such an important film, especially right now with all the crazy things that have been happening in the world. So I'm just excited to talk to the team. So if you guys want to come on up, we'll get started. Hey guys. So welcome. Before we get into the questions, Kate, I wanted you to kind of direct people where they can support suicide prevention.
Yeah, so we decided to support the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, just because it's the one like I've used most and friends of mine have used most. And you can call even if you just want somebody to talk to. Like, it doesn't need to be dire straits, which I think a lot of people think. So you can just call if you need somebody to talk to, or you want to know where resources are in your area. And it's available in Spanish, and you can text as well. So if those are helpful. And they're also working in other languages too. So if you have a couple bucks to donate, it's a great organization.
Yeah, that's great. And we are going to take audience questions if people would like to ask questions at the end. But I'll start with a few of my own. So Kate, during the written interview we did, this was actually the last question I asked you. And I was thinking, no, this would actually be a good first question of the night. So why Hamlet? Let's talk about Hamlet. Why was Hamlet an inspiration for this one-woman show?
Yeah, I think so. So I read the soliloquies when I was younger, like before I really understood Shakespeare or had even a deep love of it, and it just resonated with me. Like, I have of not, but wherefore I know late lost all my mirth. Just to me and my brain and body translated like, I'm not happy and I don't know why. And that was just so what was going on in my body and mind at the time. And then I auditioned for Hamlet years later, and I was like, oh, now I have all these tools and these like ways of interacting with this role in a different way. And I really wanted to play Hamlet, and I asked to audition for Hamlet, not Ophelia. I'd auditioned for Ophelia lots of times, but I wanted to play Hamlet. And so it was also a way to have that agency for myself, and also just a voice that spoke to me and like what I was going through. And I couldn't just be Kate on stage the whole time. I really needed a support there. So that was Hamlet.
Yeah, it's so great. And I do kind of want to talk to each of you about how you came to this project. And Kate, I'll circle back with you in a bit, but Kseni and Ayesha, I want to kind of hear your story of coming together as directors, and what empowered you two to have this similar, I guess, vision of elevating Kate's story. And one of you could start. Ayesha, maybe you.
Yeah, sure. Again, I've worked with Ksenia before, and I've worked with Kate, and they're just both so fantastic. And it was kind of a rough time with the pandemic last year. And, I teach at Loyola, so film as well. So it was kind of like I was finding ways to form projects where students can be flexible and also be creative. And I think as artists, we all know how that went as well. And so, when Kate pitched this to Ksenia and then me back in, practically a year and a half ago, I was just so moved because I could tell she believed in this project. It was her authentic voice. It was something that was new, that needed to be said. There needed to be a conversation about this. And I was just drawn to it immediately. And coming from a theater background, the puppetry, and it's just brilliant, and so Kseni loved the idea as well, and she had a little bit of a theater background. And again, I told you, Rebecca, that we've never worked together as co-directors, so that worried me because we're close friends and we help each other in other ways. But we worked so well together, and I will work with her again. Like, this crew, so it's such a passionate project. It was authentic. It's a story that needed to be told. I was on top of it. Yeah, Kseni, if you want to.
Yeah, sure. To support what just Ayesha said, I was truly amazed by this idea, and I actually had this crazy idea from my, I don't know, 20s maybe, that I want to make this adaptation of Hamlet where Hamlet would be female. I just had it in my mind.
Yeah.
And when it suddenly was like this project, I'm like, maybe this is what I was like, imagining. And especially it's Kate's project, and I work with her, and I love working with her. She's such an amazing talent, And additionally, this subject, mental health, is very personal to me, and I just was really happy to bring this project to life, because I'm all about positive change in our communities, supporting other people. And I think we need more projects like this. I think this kind of projects will find the audience. And I'm very excited to be here today with my amazing team. And I'm very grateful to you, Rebecca, for this opportunity for us.
Yeah, my honor. I just, this film is so important, and I'm excited that I could, share this with our world here. But yeah, my next question is for Brian. So I during our written interview, which you guys can find, people are watching cinemafemme.com, you can go and read the written interview. But something we talked a lot about during the written interview was post-production, how a lot of things came into play, like, just how the story was elevated and the different magical elements of the film. So Brian, I know you were involved a lot with like the editing and all that in the post-production. So could you talk about like that process for you?
Yeah, it was a huge collaborative effort. We had weekly meetings where we would review where the film was and toss ideas around. And if something was working or wasn't working, we would comment and move forward from there. But a lot of those things that we implemented down the road, like those animations and motion graphics and stuff, those came like a few edits down the road, where I think as a stage play, it worked a lot with just the audio elements. But as far as a visual medium, we wanted to make sure that we always had something on screen for the viewer to look at. So that gave me a lot of room to kind of play, and an idea might pop up like, hey, can we try and animate something like this? And say, yeah, we can give it a shot. And we would try it out. And if it went over well, we kept it and worked on it. So it was a lot of fun just tossing ideas out and seeing what would stick, and seeing, the excitement kind of grow just from like a little kernel of an idea that, we now have like these great little pieces with animation, and just how the editing really helps the flow of what was just a stage play. Now it's this whole new thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's great. And Kate, I'm going to throw it back to you. This is something we did not discuss at all in the written interview, and it was an oversight on my part. The puppets. I don't know anything about puppets, but my fiance Matt is a huge puppet fan, and he wanted me to ask, and I'm actually curious as well, like, where'd you get those puppets? How were they like made? Like, I know little about puppets, but I want to talk about them, the role that they have in One Woman Hamlet. So yeah.
Thank you, and thank him for asking.
Yes.
Noah Gen X is an amazing puppet maker in the city, and we collaborated together to make those puppets for the stage version. A link to his website is on onewomanhamlet.com, so if you're looking for puppets, look him up. He's amazing. And I also collaborated with Vanessa Valier, who is a amazing puppet coach, and so we all kind of worked together to create those. But honestly, the idea for the puppets came into my head. I just like kind of saw Hamlet surrounded by a circle of puppets when I first had the idea for the show, and I love puppets. I fell in love with puppets when I first watched Labyrinth
Cool.
as a kid, and I just think a little bit of magic and like whimsy always, you know, to me and my spirit are always like, yeah, that just takes it to the next level for my heart and my soul when I'm like observing story.
Yeah.
But yeah, look up Noah. He's great.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say you are so talented with those puppets. I mean, I love how you had those segments like, you might need to help me with this, but the one where you were like, these are the appropriate questions you're supposed to ask, like, don't ask, like, so with like Polonius, right? So and I just like it's so creative. Like, I have never seen a one-woman show with puppets ever. It might be out there, I don't know, but you might be the first. I'm not sure, but well done. That's basically what I'm. Yeah.
If I could too, Chicago actually has an international puppet fest, and there are as many. But if you like puppets watching this, it's really cool. It's only been going on for a few years. So just to put that out there too, it's a really cool way to support, like Chicago has some cool puppeteers in the city. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. And then, so my next question, is a question that I did ask at the written interview, but I really was impressed by your answers. So I wanted you guys to share it with, you know, the people who are watching right now. We'll start with Kate and then we'll just go around. What do you hope people see in this film?
Yeah, I hope they see something that they can connect with. Like if I made it for my younger self, what I wish I could have seen when I was a younger person, what would have helped me. So I hope if somebody's like me, they see it and they feel less alone. And I hope if maybe somebody sees me and they're like, oh, that's like the shadow of somebody else I know, or oh, I don't know anybody like that, but like, wow, that's not a person that I've thought about before. I hope people see me and themselves and the people they love.
That's great. Ayesha?
Yeah, no, again, awesome question. I agree with Kate. I love pieces, and I'm drawn to pieces where it allows you to think and question how you viewed something before. So again, I'm so honored to be working on this project with everybody, and I am so proud to have worked on a film that, you know, people are going to watch this or have just watched it and think, oh my gosh, I'm seeing this in a different light. And when it comes to the topic of mental illness, it's not its own entity. It's you, it's me, it's my family, it's whatever, you know. And when you see it in yourself, that kind of brings people together, and it starts more of a communication process. And through change is communication starts, you know. And so again, thanks again, Rebecca, for having us on here, because I think this is something that needs to be talked about. Yeah,
definitely. Kseni?
Yeah, I think everyone, we all had this, you know, dark moments when we felt alone and we felt lost. And I think this project just speaks to you when you watch it. It's just like, this is what you want to hear right now, to feel like this support, this energy, to feel like, oh, there is a solution actually to all of this. So even like I had this personal moment when I watched it like a couple of weeks ago, and I had this, you know, very weird, feelings, and I just caught myself like, oh my God, like she speaks to me. She just like everything I'm feeling now, like it's right here. And while I was watching, I just felt so much support and help. And I just hope that everyone who will watch this project will feel the same way. So I really hope that it just will bring this, again, positive change, and it will just help someone. Yeah.
Brian?
For me, I think it's one of the first things that is said in the film and the play, and that's that it's okay to not be okay, to not feel, so that somebody viewing it knows that if they're feeling a certain way, there's nothing wrong with that, that the stigma that they feel from the outside world is something that they can, break away from, and they can open up, and that it's okay to share what they're feeling. And I know myself personally, I held all that in for so long and for myself, and it's just a toxic thing, and to hold that in, and that if someone can watch this and reach out to somebody and just say, hey, I'm not, this is how I'm feeling or something, I think that would be special if it could even help one person.
Yeah, that's great. I do have I do have a question for you guys, but I may do some of these audience questions first before I ask my final question. Somebody asked, how did the show evolve from the stage show to the film? Like, I don't know if you guys want to, maybe we'll go around and answer that, but just what was the involvement, I guess? I know that's probably a big question, but I don't know if anyone could unpack that.
I can start at the origin point.
Okay. Yeah.
So it was a project that was created. Now it's been about 4.5 years. The stage version took about 3 to 3.5. There's been over 100 iterations of the show, which is kind of cool. There were lots of readings and puppet workshops, and then there was a live version at the Hideout Inn, and one at a death doula event right before the pandemic hit, like literally the month before. And then it was supposed to tour into Chicago Public Schools, and that got shut down. And I'd wanted to make a film version anyway, and had been talking to Kseni and Ayesha about that, because I just think they're both such amazing creatives. And so then I adjusted the script slightly based on the feedback I'd gotten from the live version and what I thought could potentially work in film. But then these three amazing humans knew how to take that and make it like palatable for the screen. Like Brian mentioning, like, we need an image here, or Ayesha had the idea for the photos at the beginning, and Kseni is so good with her timing. And it's just like all of these things that just like really made it something that I could never do on my own. So if any of you want to speak to that too, just like what it felt like to film it, I was like, I did my best to prep, but they were all just such professionals bringing in their talent and gifts, and the film version is them,
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'll add a little. Thanks, Kate. Again, thanks for bringing us on board. This is such a beautiful piece, and I think for Kseni and I, when we met, initially and talked about it, I think we were really drawn to the theatrics of it. Like, I was like, we both used to do theater, so we're like, this is so cool. You know what I mean? So thank you. I think we were drawn to like puppets and I remember Kseni and I were like, oh my gosh, we were thinking like, on film, how is this puppet going to look and how are we going to light it? I'm sure Brian, Kseni sent you images of how do we light this puppet, or, so we were, I think already your whole idea, your concept was so film visual. I was like, okay, this is definitely going to be beautiful on film. But I think our major problem was, okay, when you watch a performance, a theater performance, it's beautiful, but you're sitting down and you're focused on the whole set. Film adds something new. We can cut to close-ups, we can cut to images. So Kseni and I were like, we definitely want to keep that simple theatrical look, but we want to sprinkle some film in there. I think Kseni, if you want to add to that, or Brian.
Sure. Well, what I want to add is, at any production, we face some challenges, and especially during the pandemic, we had to push it some over and over because everything was closed. We were trying to find the right location. And again, because of the pandemic, it was kind of a challenge for us. And then some additional, just preparation work that always just for any project. But yeah, then like I think we had really great time during the post-production. It's like, I think post-production is actually my favorite part, because it's like, it's already like done. You just need to like make it happen. Now you can be finally like just, you know, relaxed and just be creative. And just, I think this project was, you know, so we had so much freedom, you know, we were literally like, I think it was one of the best collaborations I ever had, because like we were just literally like having fun, just trying to figure out, all of us together, if like this works. So it was just like, you know, such a positive experience. But again, yeah, it came through this idea, then pre-production, production, and post-production, and now we're in I guess we just released it online, so we are here.
Good job, everyone. Brian, do you have anything to add?
I'll just say that these three did an amazing job getting the ball rolling to begin with, because I was the last one to come on board. And so that made my job a lot easier because of all the work they had put in. So when I came on, you know, they had a clear direction of how they wanted it to go, and made it really easy for me to kind of step in and work with them as far as the filming went. And then, as I spoke to earlier, just the post-production, and Kseni said, was so much fun, because we were just playing around. It didn't feel like work at all. It was just like, hey, let's try this. Yeah, that was cool. Let's do some more of that. And it was the best thing I can say is that it was never a drag, never work, really. Mm-hmm. It was always fun. And that just goes back to these three and their passion for it, for sure.
Yeah, that's great. So another audience question, I'm just going to literally read it, so I haven't pre-read it, so we'll see how this goes. I saw the show, this is from Carl Evans. I saw the show at the Hideout, and your emotional gravity really resonated with the audience. What was it like doing the performance on the closed set in terms of capturing the emotional gravity? It really came across well. So
that makes me teary. That makes me happy. I was really nervous it wouldn't, so that's good. And thank you, by the way, just to shout out to Carl. He's one of the reasons the show exists. He was one of the original supporters of the play, and I think it would have taken me a good 10, 15 more years to do this, or maybe it wouldn't have happened at all without him. So shout out, Carl. Thank you. But it was hard. I did a lot of prep. I was probably doing 20 to 30 hours prep for a couple months before the film to make sure that I was feeling solid and doing rewrites and stuff, which is hard to do in your own brain when you don't have anybody in the room with you, because I couldn't rehearse with anybody because of the pandemic. And but these three were huge, like just such amazing support. Like I remember like Kseni was just like, she's so grounded in her compliments and also in like what needs to be done. And she was sick and like crushed it. I mean, not COVID sick, sorry, just to clarify. We all got tested beforehand and we're very safe, and it was just us. Clarity. And Brian was such a calming presence. And one time Ayesha told me, she's like, you're really interesting to watch. And I was like, oh my God, I needed that. Like, I don't think I realized how much I needed that. But we did 10-hour shoot days, 2 days in a row is how we shot it. And I think I fell asleep I have to warm up before that. So it was really a 12 to 15 hour day, depending on the day for me. And I don't think I've ever been so tired. I think I went home and I like slept at 9 p.m. the first night, but also never been so happy because it's what I love doing. And I love film. And so I guess that was a really long way of saying it was really hard. It makes me happy that it resonated with you, because it was also really fun to do. And I was grateful I had the support system. And a shout out to my partner, who also like took care of all our food and made sure that I was taken care of and rubbed my shoulders and did the lights as well there. And like, it was really lovely. So collaborative effort. Thank you, Carl.
Yeah, that's great. I think those are, wait, no, we got some more. Sorry. I'll ask, I think I can get one more audience question in. So this is from Lana Smithner. I don't know if this is a question or like a statement, but can this please be a part of school curriculum everywhere. I don't know why I should put a question mark because it's definitely a statement. But maybe we could talk about the future of One Woman Hamlet after post-pandemic. So I don't know if you guys have been talking about that together, or if that's something, Kate, you're kind of looking at for the future. So
I'd love it to be a part of school curriculum. It was designed for that. We've had a couple opportunities that fell through just because everything is so uncertain still. So right now I'm talking to a couple different people. We're hoping that I really want it to be available to share as well online. So trying to figure out streaming platforms. But if you're interested in keeping up to date with it, or you want to support it, or you're like, I have a school that would love programming like this, please follow One Woman Hamlet on Instagram. You can email me on my website. I'll be posting updates on both of those. So as soon as we have concrete stuff, that's where it'll be. And again, you can always email me directly, or if you just like want to share your story. So yes, there are plans. They're not completely set yet. Hopefully they will be in the next month or so.
yeah, that's great. Oh wait, sorry, I'm just trying to see if I don't want to miss any of the questions. Okay, this one's from Matt. Is that fiance Matt? Yeah, okay. He's in the room with me. I love the humor interwoven throughout the film. Would Kseni ever be interested in directing a comedy, considering we were both fans of Baby Yaga? Baba Yaga, sorry. Inside joke, I guess. I don't know if you could answer that, but
yeah. Hi, Matt. Thanks for asking. I think I don't have guts to direct a comedy. I think comedy is like there are elements here, but I feel like I was really like, when I just started this project, I saw that there are these parts, and I think I would never be able to like handle myself. So I'm so grateful that Ayesha was there, and it's Kate's project. This is why I think it all like came along. But as me personally, I'm a very like dark director. I like very sad stories, even like what
I saw Jack and Anna, really good.
Yeah.
Very sad story though, but very good. Sorry, continue.
You see what I mean? Like sad stories. This is like me. Like I will keep just doing this films, I guess, which just like have unhappy endings. I guess there is some hope in the end, but like and right now I'm working on this feature, pretty dark again. Like I don't know if I will add any humor here. Probably again, like just thanks to Ayesha, Kate, and Brian. Like but as me, I don't know.
Well, that kind of leads to my last question, which we'll jump to Ayesha. Do you have any projects coming up that you can share or you're excited about, or yeah?
Do you hear me? Okay,
yes.
Sorry, I like muted myself and then unmuted. So I'm currently working on a feature, and it's a feature. I know Kseni, and I don't know if Brian, if you know, but I know I talked a little about it with you, Kate, as well. I made a piece on the Egyptian 2011 revolution. So upsettingly, I don't do comedies. I do dark crap too. So I see where you're coming from, Ksenia, but I'm not opposed to doing comedies. I wish I could, but I'm working on a feature length of the story of this woman, and it's inspired by an event that happened during the 2011 Egyptian revolution, where she was protesting and dragged by military police, and they ripped her dress. And so I'm kind of the short film that I did. It's called The Girl in the Blue Bra, and it was shown over 25 film festivals. And it was in Arabic. The feature is going to be in English, and we want to kind of tackle not just how gender roles were affected by the revolution, but different social classes. So I'm very excited to be working on that. And like everything, this has been a process. This is, my second year in pre-production, and just working on the script. So like the pandemic, it was a double-edged sword because I wanted to, start going into production. But it helped with me focusing on the screenplay more. So we're ready to rock and roll pretty soon with the table read becoming our next thing. So thank you for asking.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, keep me updated. I want to
for sure.
Love to see it when it comes, together.
Thanks, Rebecca. Yeah.
So Brian, what about you? What's coming up?
So right now I'm getting my MFA thesis film ready to submit to festivals. It's a short drama. It's about a high school music prodigy who is assaulted by these bullies and ends up losing his hearing, and how he grasped with life now that he lost his most important sense. I loved Sound of Metal. This was shot before that ever came out, so before anybody says anything.
But you did it first, right?
Yeah. No, but it's different. It's great. Our actor, he was 16 when we filmed it, and he was an amazing actor and piano player. I wanted somebody that could actually play the piano so we could show that, and I'm very proud of it and excited to get that out into festivals.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So I think we've come to the end. Were there any last thoughts? Anything that you guys wanted to share that, you weren't able to, or any last thoughts?
I know we're close to time, but just real quick, I'm also working on a podcast that talks about creativity and mental health.
Ooh,
so great. Again, just follow my email. Also, I know Kseni is working on that film. I don't know where to follow it, but if you follow me on Instagram or email me on my website.
Okay, great. Well, I guess that's it then. This has been amazing. I guess, let's see, do you know where the film's going after this? Like, are you guys have any plans for the film?
We know we want it to be available soon for the public.
Good.
But yeah, totally. But in terms of, we're just like working out the streaming service right now. So
okay.
So it will be updated on the website, and I'm not obnoxious with my email blast. So if you want to be a part of the email list, please just let me know. Or on Instagram at One Woman Hamlet.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys for being here and sharing your film, and have a happy Memorial Day weekend.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Thanks for having us.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.